company. And then the court will then rule, number one, that they should return my money back. Number two, maybe they should give me compensation. Do you see what I'm saying? But social media is not a court of law. And I say to people, if you really genuinely feel people didn't treat you right in business, if not that it's fake news and you are just leveraging on sensation.
I think you need his life.
Right? Is it life? You should tell actions that should have even happened where people should have gotten money back, should have gotten compensation, didn't happen. You know why? Because they didn't even file it the way they should file it. Right? Which is that, hey, there's a civil case. I had a transaction with Mr. So-so-so. Right? He did not do what I expected, and here are my evidence, and the court will rule. Okay? But again, we live in a world where people are miserable. You are talking over 200 million people. A data just came out that say only 3%, 0.3% Nigeria has $1 million in their account. It used to be 2%, right? Years ago, during Sanusi. Is now 0.3. Right? So people can't understand why somebody will charge $18,000. Do you know there are people already say, EFCC, go after the guy. For what? Right? I saw Punch newspaper also leveraging on the sensation. Right? So I wish Punch had mentioned my name. I would sue their life. Right? I wish they had mentioned my name in the article. I really wish Punch had done it. I will have sued them and it will have been war. Real war with Punch newspaper. And I dare them to try it. I dare them. Okay? So people, they too were leveraging on that sensationalism, right? And then put EFCC, whatever. EFCC has an official page now. Did you see them mention my name there? Right? I'm an international businessman. I don't live in Nigeria in the last 5 years. I only invest in Nigeria. In fact, I remember one of my mentors was still telling me recently, he said, I want to thank you for still not giving up on Nigeria. With your massive growth internationally, people still don't know in 17 years I have not declared profit in Nigerian business. 17 years. Meanwhile, Dubai business is making profit. You are about to make profit. In 17 years. Because it's about employing more people, giving back, trying to keep things running. Okay? But it's a vicious circle. And like I told you, if you then let them enjoy it, right, they now think that they can keep doing after you. When I am done, guys, on this 18K matter, Nigerians will beg me to stop.
Mentorship program. I reached out to a couple of people around DSA, and I said, I don't really have that kind of money for the mentorship program. Can I please pay what I have? And honestly speaking, DSA was magnanimous enough to just allow me at that time. Do you understand? So what people really don't understand is DSA is a very simple person and does not put money on his head. Truly, if you're interested in the program and then you approach him, honestly speaking, the team and himself will be accommodating enough to bring you on board. So once more, please, can I please celebrate DSA? And so back to my story. After the masterclass course in Abuja around March last year, I then joined the mentorship program around April. And really, it was an eye-opener. It was explosive. I had a one-on-one meeting with DSA at Transcorp where he put me through on what I was supposed to do as far as my business was concerned. And then at some stage, an opportunity showed up. DSA had made some adverts that they needed land in Kaduna, Abuja, and some strategic locations. I then found one guy who wanted to sell some plots in Kaduna. I remember reaching out to the office and saying to the office that this land is there for you guys to procure. And then the staff, I can't remember his name, reached out to me and said, you know what, we'll get back to you. I called again, he was like, we'll get back to you. So one day I was just looking at the photocopy on my phone, and then it dawned on me that, hey, you've gone through the masterclass, you've signed up for the mentorship program, you can do this on your own. So I looked at it, I said, you know what? I said to the landowner, I'll buy the property. You see, that guts, you only learn it from DSA. With nothing. And let me say the truth to you guys. I had only 3,000 naira in my account at that time. April last year. 3,000 naira in my account. I then said yes. And then it was getting close to Salah period, and this guy would come after me and say, when are you paying the money? And then I began to negotiate. I kept negotiating until it got to a point, the guy just said, you know what, anything you have, just give it to me. Even if it's 10 million naira. And then I reached out to family, to friends, to a lot of people, and then I got the first investor who, gave us the money. We set up our office, basically from the advice I've gotten from him. He said things to me like, the first person you must hire, this is from the one-on-one class. Now, I wrote about 10 things down, but this is the first thing he said to me. He said, the first person you must hire must be a barrister and must be your EA. And that was what I did. I hired my first staff, which was a data analyst. She had knowledge of law, and then she was my EA. To cut the long story, we then did a valuation based on our assets and cash flow. It was worth 2.9 billion, and then he was willing to buy 10% of the company for 200 million naira. From there, today we are about 40 staff on our payroll. We have 2 offices in Kaduna, in a mall and in the city center. Now, we ran into the same challenge similar to what DSA is talking about today. People say we're too aggressive. The biggest company in Kaduna doing a lot of adverts was Urban Shelter. They had about 1 billboard at that time. We came in and did 10 billboards. So we're being criticized, why are you this aggressive and all of that, but we kept pushing. And then we grew into Abuja and launched our estate in Abuja, and then grew into Lagos and launched our estate in Lagos. Today we are fully registered in the US, and then we are starting our Dubai office very soon. All of these I learned from DSA.
With 18K.
You will not believe the kind of things we are doing. You won't believe it. Everything I've said to you is just half of the testimony. Before the end of this year, if short, by next month, we are launching our fintech. We are now a holding company with about 4 subsidiaries. Before the end of this year, we are starting our bank, Pumpkin Microfinance Bank. Why? Because of the cash flow and what we have, we want to diversify as much as possible. Another person I must really commend and celebrate is Architect Busayo, right? She was one of the other mentees that inspired me a lot. I remember just in a meeting like this, when she came up and she was sharing how she was making about 200 million. And at that time, I was just a 3K guy in my account. And I was like, how can somebody, a lady, be making this much? And then I took it upon myself. I got her to Kaduna. You remember, I got to Kaduna around when? Around April still, to come and just teach our people and all of that. And I was so inspired. And she shared a lot of the tips with us and all that, and then we ran with it. And today, by God's grace, we are where we are today. Truly speaking, let me say the truth to you. It's beautiful just to create an industry, a billion-naira industry. It's beautiful. Because then you can afford to do a lot of things you want. Today, we are sponsoring widows. My family is a lot more comfortable. We just got back from 5-country tour with my wife. And, it's been beautiful, really. And then we're doing quite a lot in terms of company expansion. So thank you so much, DSA. That's why I'm here today. Like I said, I'm here to learn more. I'm here to refire. People are going to say things. Can I say one more thing, DSA, please? I wanted to ask a question in this meeting. And the question is simple. Why is it that every time you're about to rise or you climb to a new level, you're about to climb to a new level, there will always be turbulence? So you see what is happening online today, it's another level for DSA. What I have not said to you in my testimony, came out from a very ugly situation. And it was a situation where we were dragged online by a bank. It was a very horrible situation. We had made a mistake on our flyer by writing in partnership with a bank. Because of that, people were rushing to the bank and asking for the product. It was a mistake on our part. And then the advert went viral. The bank then went on their online platform and blacklisted us. Can you imagine that? But God saved us. Some people went online, started attacking the bank, and then they pulled down the adverts. To cut the long story short, we resolved the matter, but it was too late. We had gone viral. We then took all the list of the people who saw the advert and began to reach out to them one after the other to buy our products. Today, out of those numbers, 250 people signed up to buy a plot in our company. And that is how we became viral, and then today we are tagged as the fastest growing real estate company in Kaduna. So you will go through challenges, but those challenges usually will be like a stepping stone to a higher dimension. Like we always say, for every level, there's a new what?
Devil.
There's a new devil. So congratulations and to everybody who's at the top, and I wish you the very best as you keep climbing and climbing and climbing.
All this in a space of how many years?
All this happened between June last year when we started and today. So less than 1 year. In less than 1 year. And the valuation is based on our project in Kaduna only, not Lagos, not Abuja. So I can't even tell you what we are valued at as of today. Every time I print the bank statement, I see the volume of transaction. I can't believe my eyes that we are doing this more. Today, I come to the office at times, 3 banks are queuing in the waiting room. First Bank, Zenith Bank, one other bank, queuing just to see me because they believe we have volume that can turn their branch around. This can only be God, truly. Yeah. This can only be God. And thanks to DSA for all the inputs, for all the things he's been teaching us and just putting us through. And every time I come to him with specific problems and specific questions. Sir, I'm in this fix, what do I do? And I'm always amazed at how he goes straight to the point and just give me, the appropriate answer. Today we're also expanding to Shogbo. We're expanding to Kano. We have 200 hectares in Kano coming up. We have 95 hectares given to us directly by the governor, and we're setting up big time in the governor. And I've never signed this magnitude of deal before. I need your counsel. And he went straight to the point. Make sure it's a JV. Make sure it's this percentage. Specific answers to specific questions. And so people see us rising and people see us doing great things. They don't know the secret. The secret is the 18K USD.
Hey! I love the way you are doing it. Oh, I love that. That's the signature. 18K USD coaching. Right? 18K or nothing. Right? But I'm happy for you. One of my biggest joy, and that's what people don't even know. It's never really about money, right? It's never really about money. He offered the same coaching program to 40 people for people. Yeah, you can clap well if you want to. The same program, and not a dime was charged, to them. But like I said, I don't owe anybody how much I charge for my intellectual property, right? Like he's telling you now, he's doing billions. That's not my money, it's his money. So if you come for my mentorship and you make billions, it's not my money, it's your money, right? And it's important to just value, because these are the reasons why people are not rising. Imagine he didn't sacrifice to be part of that mentorship. He couldn't even afford it then, truly. But we still absorb him in a way. Today, of course, he's paying for it. He's able to afford it. But imagine he didn't make those moves that time. I mean, does this make sense? Does this make sense at all? The person who paid Solomon, right, and brought gold bars, right, and the person who didn't pay, both led to legacy. I mean, the story of Solomon, we are reading it today, isn't it? The story of Solomon, we are reading it today, isn't it? So when you come and say, oh, mentorship is just about, that's half truth. Whether you charge or you don't charge, mentorship will always be about legacy, because you still can't put a price, right, to the wisdom of the person involved. Does that make sense at all? Right? When these things are magna, yeah. So you still can't put a price to the wisdom of anybody that is helping you. You can't. You cannot. I've had some mentors who, can I place a price on the mentorship of Dr. Cosmos in my life today? You can't. This is not something you can put a price on. Even if somebody, now let's assume I didn't even charge $20,000. Let's assume I was charging $100,000. Is this still what this man is doing today? Right? Some of the conversation, like he's telling you, there are way multi-billion naira conversation he's discussing. You know, the governor is giving us this opportunity, this, big time. And he is quite lucky. I avoid government, right? He's lucky to have government, literal governors. Oh yeah, come and do real estate in our state. Come and do this. Come and do that. And adjust this. Be careful about this. You know, these are politicians. These are things you need to work on. These are things you need to avoid. You can't put a price to somebody helping you grow your business. You cannot put a price to it. Right? And like some people have advised, even the 20,000 is too cheap. Absolutely too cheap. You know, because you can't put a price to it. Honestly, you can't. Some people also said, why was the advert done on Facebook? It was marketing to the wrong market. I don't think so. Not everybody on my Facebook is poor. I have partners in the US, in the UK. I have people in Dubai, I have people in Doha, I have people all over the world. There's barely any country I visit that I don't have massive following. It's shocking to even me. So to just think that the people on my Facebook page are broke, they are Nigerians, doesn't make sense to me. I may have been born in Nigeria, but I'm no longer a Nigerian entrepreneur. I do business all over the world. And I have non-Nigerians follow me. Okay, to then box me to one corner, we go drag ourselves. And to the draggers, I'm coming for you, watch out. I've just started. Okay? Well, the second person I want to bring up, is Mr. Salvation, who you can clap for him, who runs a real estate company in Benin. Please clap better.
To the 20K dollars. It's okay, $18K people. What I just say is, I'm a son to also some spiritual fathers, and many times people say that sometimes some people who are up there want to mentor people who sometimes have gotten a level of success, and they don't know why. This is what I also discovered. The reason why some persons up there don't just want to mentor everybody down there sometimes is because, or for some certain class of mentorship, they want to see that, because the result you have gotten shows your level of comprehension. So when a man is just down there, if there are certain things you want to communicate at say, you want to say, know that if you are angry with it, it's so you are in primary one, and you are trying to question in university. What's your problem? Face your 1+1, and let people at the university level do their calculus and do that. Stop quarreling, grow into it. So one thing about Nigerians, since they can't face their government, they transfer aggression. So anyway, I've learned a lot. When I was coming into real estate, I was into transportation. I had a transport company before, and I just knew I wanted to do real estate. There wasn't any mentorship. I haven't done real estate before. So I started researching who is doing real estate, that I can see what they are doing. And what I realized, and whether we all like it or not, Dr. Stephen is one of the most open real estate big CEO in Nigeria. He's one of the few that is out there sharing the secrets. Most of them are quiet. They are just showing you their success. All you see is we bought this, we bought this, we bought this. So whether you like it or not, if anybody wants to start real estate in Nigeria today, if you really go online, the person who is always teaching, who is always telling you how, is Dr. Stephen Akintayo. He's Dr. Stephen, whether you like it or not. So if you go to Lagos, when there, I even thought, when I was first hearing him online, I thought when I go to Lagos, he's the only one I will see. I was surprised when I entered the Lagos market. I was seeing other bigger names, but they are not interested in mentoring you. So I would say that when we have somebody, so when I went online, I began to see his materials and I must say my scope for real estate then wasn't that too big. I just wanted, okay, let's look for an alternative to transportation. So real estate was like an alternative for me. But when I came online, I started listening to Dr. Stephen, and it was inspiring. He would come and say, 7, this thing like this. He was just giving keys. And based on where I was coming from, I was already doing business, so I could pick it fast. I already knew when I could relate early. And I still say it tomorrow, that really expanded my mind. That made me see that, okay, there's more in real estate. To the extent that, so when I came, that expanded me, and it was an explosion. When we just came in, it so expanded me that I came into real estate hoping that my transportation company, the real estate, would just be a side. I so got it that I sold off a transportation company at a giveaway price to somebody. It was so serious. I changed the CAC document. I'm no longer here again. Let me stay in this real estate and see how it goes. And in the space of 1 year, this was 2 years, we're about 3 years now. In the space of 1 year, we were already talking over 3,000 clients. In the space of it was an explosion. We spread, when we had 2 years, we're already in Lagos. Today we have about 7 centers in Lagos. Centers in Benin, we are in Delta, we are in Ogun. 2 months time, we are releasing 2 of our subsidiaries. 2 months, we are becoming a group of companies. Today we have staff whose salary is 1 million naira. We have staff who will pay 1 million today, and it's been it's just been from glory to glory to glory. So it's been hearing mentorship every time, and it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. Sometimes being able to come to him to say, okay, this is where the issues are, and he's able to just. There was a day I just asked him a question. The way he answered the question, and he answered it in few seconds. My eyes just opened. I said, why wasn't I saying it like this? I thought I knew. I used to mentor people and all that. I just said, this is. I was having problem with some top government functionaries in the state then, and I was trying to, how do I do it? So we were trying to stress me. I just sat, it was in the airport that day, I still remember. I just asked him, I said, how do you deal with government officials? The ones that, he just said one statement. It didn't change, and today, that helped me escape a major target that would have almost sank us. Just that statement he made. Because that just made me understand dealings with authorities and all that. So it's been amazing. And to the 18K drag, today we have over 300 to 500 staffs. So what I would say to the 18K draggers is this. Listen, you can't control a man to put a price on something he didn't buy with you. I can't put a price on something. I think the normal thing to do is walk away. You can't afford it. Walk away. Why are you pained that somebody else can afford it? So, if you can't afford it, walk away. There's a reason they sell Lamborghini. It's doing this US and China trade. It's now we are realizing that the things we buy very expensive in US. China is trying to do some mess on our mind to let us know that. But it's a price. Yeah. Lamborghini said this is our price because there is a particular people they are going for. Dr. Stephen is a global brand, whether we like it or not. I was telling them, why did my respect for Dr. Stephen tripled when I saw Doha opening. Why? I came to Doha last year. I tried to open an office. I tried to do some things. I saw the hostility that they gave to me. I now just saw Dr. Stephen just say, Doha opening office. What does this man do all this? How do you just go to nations and the nations will just open? I'm in Doha and I'm seeing crowds. Look at how does a Nigerian man come to another country? I came to the hall this afternoon. The place was filled. There was no chair to sit. I was expecting 10 people and I was celebrating. If I saw 10 people, I would have said, Dr. Stevie, you too much. There was no chair to sit. We need to celebrate our own. Dr. Stevie is a global brand. We need to accept it. Let's accept it. God has given it to us, and let's learn from him. So thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Wow, what a testimony, right? And I tell people this. I'm at a phase that I won't lie to you. Money is not what gives me joy anymore. It's all sense of there's no, it's testimonies like this that gives me joy. It's is that you could watch people move from A to Z, and it just shocks you. People have asked me many times, what was your most joyous day as an entrepreneur? And you won't believe it, it was a trip in Maldives when we had almost 50 of our staff. If I had to welcome them from the jetty, our own staff, and I was almost crying that day because I knew when we couldn't pay salaries, when we couldn't. And I'm like, you mean we could afford to pay for 50 people, almost 50 of them, to come to Maldives of all places, all expense paid trip, right? It was one of the most joyous days of my life. And even today, a lot of times you see me interview some of our staff. I still, for many of them, I can still remember. I know when some of them were earning 50K as salary, right? Sometimes I ask them for reports. What is the commission some of them are earning? I'm seeing 2 million. I'm seeing 3 million employees. So we're not even counting salaries, just the commission they're able to make. And they still work under you, right? And they're multi-millionaire. One of our team member was sharing with me how she's building, I'm sure it's completed now. I said, in my state, I had to build this self-contained, and I'm doing 18 units. I say, hey, from waiting they collect from this company. I've been that's mini estate already, right? From what you are earning in this, nothing for me gives me more joy than that, right? One of our, is the office assistant, Mr. Badijo, I remember one day they said was it my wife that was telling me, say, the man needed to roof his house. I said, wait. Not a middle level, junior staff. Right? And he needed, I owe you. I said, what are you people waiting for? Give him the money. Right? If he could have managed his money in such a way that he built his own house, right? And he's just looking for a little to roof it. Those are what we are talking about. And that's what you as a business founder can be proud of. That's what you can say, hey, we have achieved something. So our testimony is not just with mentees, it's also with people who do those. I blame those who listen to them. Because you must be so daft, right, to listen to people who have nothing to prove in terms of success in life, and then leave those who have built something and then jump on listening to hearsay. Sometimes when people send me that, I just say, don't waste my time with this nonsense, right? We can't even be having this conversation. Okay, we can't. So all of the 18K are doing real estate. We have one that is not doing real estate, right? But is still making good money. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Mohammed Dago. You be a 18K guy now, even though you will give you discount.
Happy Dragging Week. All right. Once again, my name is Mohammed Dago. I am the CEO of BioHub Global Limited. When you shared that my post on your timeline, I could see some persons trying to ask, what does this guy do? So I think we're live, right? Yes, sir. I'm Mohammed Dago, and my brand name is I rised up in our industry. Now I play in the e-commerce industry actually, not real estate. And I transitioned from just selling all kinds of products. And I could, most time when doctor comes to Abuja, he will said, when will you brand yourself? Right? Because then we don't brand, nothing like Dago. I'm just Dago, ordinary Dago. There's nothing attached to my name. But today something is actually attached to my name under the mentorship of Dr. Steven. Right now, if you actually go out and look for any herbal brand, most top herbal brand in Nigeria right now, BioHub is one of them. And we can proudly say that, right? And this was through under the mentorship of Dr. The first day, I'm not actually used to dragging, but I felt like shedding tears the first day they started the dragging. What's going on? Like, because me, I'm not used to it, definitely. I'm not used to such kind of things. I was like, is he another person or the same doctor that I know? Right? Some friends were actually sending it to me. Some were saying, are you aware that this man is engaged in fraud? I said, can you provide any evidence as to any fraud? Right? So, if you don't have the $18,000, you keep quiet. There is a target market for this price, and it's not for you. Anytime you look at that price and you are surprised why is somebody charging $18,000 for a mentorship, it means it's not for you. Just move on. There are thousands of Nigerians. Personally, I know a lot of people that are paying 20,000, 30,000 naira for mentorship, and you will not even get half of the results you get from doctor's mentorship. I know them, right? There are people I've personally reached out to ask, how much did you charge? I will share one with this morning that you should check out this person. What would this guy have to offer you? And this guy is charging $25,000. People don't know them. Does it mean that he comes to Facebook to share that, oh, I want to take in mentees? Doctor is one of those people that want to see that like Nigerians succeed. I remember the day we came to Transcorp to meet you, this of recent, the one we came late. You remember, right? He was telling us that his ambition is to see if he can actually support 1 million business owners in Nigeria to be doing 1 billion, at least 1 billion naira in a month. I mean, turnover in a year, which means if you have the capacity to do 1 billion in turnover a year, you should have a capacity to employ 50 people under your organization. If you multiply that by 1 million business, we have 50 million Nigerians out of unemployment. And these guys that are dragging him, they are the one is even fighting to build other people so that they can actually bring in other, for us to be out of unemployment in Nigeria. Me personally, when we started, our staff capacity was somewhere around 20. And like I said, I was just doing garden. Nothing attached to me. Today, we are proudly up to 160 staff operating in Abuja. We're opening our office very soon. And then probably we'll also be opening in Ghana by first week of May. So for drivers, you guys should continue to drive in. We will continue to make our money. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I wish you would continue, but because of time, maybe we'll take more testimony tomorrow. We're meeting by 11 a.m. tomorrow. They will give you the address. But I want to take a few questions. I think somebody was also already told me the income of people is very low. So a lot of people in Nigeria cannot, first of all, even afford to buy a property. Hence, you then have a larger number of people buying from diaspora. Now, majority of those people in diaspora are really, really struggling. I mean, I live in the US. I remember one of the first things that shocked me was people just being pissed off with the scale we entered the US, right? And I can't blame them because I have people I know and I could see the pace. So you come into US, maybe you don't even come with your full family, you come alone, then you are in a self-contained. Then later you bring your family rented, then you move to maybe a room and a parlor because you now have a family, still rented. Then maybe in another 3 years, you move to a 3-bedroom, still rented. Okay? Maybe by your 5th to 10th year, you finally, hallelujah, are able to get a 3-bedroom apartment on mortgage. Okay? And by entitled to what we call first-time home buyer. So you can drop as low as 3.7%, max 5% of the money, and then you have 30 years to pay the rest. So imagine the pain point. This was a guy whose business is in UK, Dubai, and Nigeria, right? And I just moved from Dubai to US. I had not even fully started living in US, and I bought a multi-million-dollar property, right? And at that point, it's not like I had credit or had anything. So people are already like, something doesn't even make sense here. Because again, before we moved to US, it was easy for people to drag and say, don't mind them, now audio. But now you are in US with them, okay? And they can know whether you own a house or you don't own a house. So it just got them really. I remember when my friend sent me something very ridiculous. I was on Houston TV station for interview. He said, I've been in this country for 20 years, doing the same real estate. I've not been on TV. What's going on here? Okay? So I have learned over time that you will have, as a developer, one of the first things you must get right is the mindset of a property developer, tough skin. Okay? Because if you don't have a tough skin, you can't do real estate. Now, let me give you an idea of some of the battles I've started from before. That's why they drag you. When people are reaching out to me and saying, oh, they are dragging you, I just was laughing. I said, you don't know what I've gone through. I've moved from buying properties and then being faced with Omonile surrounding me with charm, trying to attack me. These are the life experiences this man seated beside you have faced. I've moved from buying properties and my staff, my workers are trying to fence the property. Old women came with charm, naked, dancing around the property, putting incantations and all that, and my workers ran away. And we still went and removed the incantation, convinced the workers to get back to work.
Okay, these are things we have faced. So do you think some faceless person on social media means anything? Right? Who are even helping to promote the brand? Like somebody was saying, which was true. As I was doing my business, JJ, you know, we spend over $10,000 every week on advert. Jamie is here. We always fight over how much money is spending on adverts. Okay, now you just gave me free adverts. You must drag. Oh. Many of them have been running away now. They must drag. This dragging, you must not stop. Okay, but you must prepare for these things. That it's not an easy job, because when we offer, and like I said, when we started, now it's getting even better. Now, Omonile is reducing. Land negotiators are becoming civil. They too, they are traveling abroad. Everybody also wants to chop life. But in those days, remember, this year makes it 10 years we are doing real estate development, and I've been in real estate for over 15 years as a broker. But 10 years of being a developer. And 10 years ago, it wasn't empty. So I was so protected. And thank God we did. So I was so protected. And thank God we did, because that land eventually had issues. But the king eventually won. You see the issue now. If it was me that bought directly, I would have been defeated, because I didn't even have the structure then. Today, we have a massive legal structure. Massive. Right? Sometimes when people drag us on social media, it's just sometimes, you know, you are just emotional and all of that, and you will soon see what will happen. Just give another 1 week. Some of you will still beg for some people. Right? Because sometimes you just look at things and say, if I handle this person now, I'll give you an example. I think they are going to be posting that tomorrow. A gentle guy went to publish an article about us 2 years ago, that he got a court order to stop our criminal enterprise. That was the word he used. I got a court order and then he paid. If I remember, one of that newspaper wanted to carry the news when they called us. Our lawyer had to intervene and say, why will you carry this kind of fake news now? So that newspaper stopped. But he now got all these other lower fake news blogs to carry and it was fake. And of course, we had to, you know, allow the law to take its effect. You know, this guy was eventually remanded in prison by the magistrate judge. I kid you not, with some of the easiest bailable terms I've ever seen in my life. 100K and national ID card. The same guy, to show you that he was sponsored, and he confessed, by the way, that he was sponsored, was not able to, the sponsors could not give him 100K for him to be bailed. 3 months later, I was calling our lawyer. I said, hope the guy is out. They said he's still there. We couldn't be. I said, if we have to pay for his bail, we better pay. Right? It was so pathetic that the people who sponsored him could not pay his 100K to come out of jail. And you can see how vicious human beings can be. The people who gave him the content, people go after. 100K. For you to see that the judge was so fair. 100,000 ID card. He could not raise it. So if you do that and you see the impact of that, when other people are behaving, will you still want to go after them? You just say, these people. Okay, there is a country of bully for the bully by the bully them. Right? We're together, we're struggling. Why were you the one that is not doing better? Me, I'm still struggling. Right? The rarest one sometimes comes from, and we're discussing this with Jessica recently, comes from people who don't want you to rise above them. Right? They don't want you to rise above them. Sometimes I'm talking to my mentees and I'm hearing figures that they are doing better than some of our Nigerian businesses. And yet I will still dish out more secret to them. It's my joy that you rise higher. My prayer is that people I mentored should even have bigger businesses than mine. I don't have problem with that. But not everybody is wired that way. So look for a real estate company that you can trust the founder is willing to mentor you, and just buy, 5 acre, 10 acre, and start there. right? So by the time you do one estate, two estate, three estates, you will have gained muscle, you will have had experience, you will have built relationship. You know, even for some of my mentees here, some of them even still make those mistakes, right? Where maybe they were stronger in a on land in that area. We have some estate in that area anyway, but we're looking for more. So we'll go as a new investor. By the time we say, yeah, give us the document, guess what? We charted everything. That land does not have the title they claim, including the one he bought from them. Right? Number two, they were charging him, is it 10 million? 9 million per plot for something that he should have bought for 1 million. You see, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Try ignorance. Okay? Am I making sense at all? So, and it wasn't like these people, I know they cannot move into a new terrain. Look for somebody to be an inroad. At least test one or two first with that person. Okay, you make less mistake. Another thing you could also do, which is powerful, if let's say, and I've advised him to, you are experienced, are you able to get new land? What do you do? Let me give you this quote and you should write it down. I'll never forget this quote. It says, a small snake that wants to grow big must hide his head under his mother. Okay? When he grows big, he can bring out his head and raise it. But if he dares raise his head when he's still small, they will smash the head. I learned this from a very powerful mentor many years ago, and he was just advising me. He said, Stephen, go and look for people to bury your head under. You see, there are some moves some of us have made. People don't know why we are making them. Right? And don't know. Right? It has saved me. Right? Today now people can drag me and I can't pay. You don't understand. I am locked and loaded. But you try what I'm experiencing now with me 10 years ago, I'm finished. Right? But why did it even take this long before I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing? I hid my head under some people. So they face the heat. Does that make sense at all? But today now, I raise my head. Nobody, if you like, talk now, your business. My head is big. Right? Enough. So you as a real estate or as a business person, if you like, talk now, your business. My head is big. Right? Enough. So you as a God is know the sellers. Call my Oga. Right? I'll call my real estate mentor and say, sir, I saw this 100-acre they want to sell. Can you buy it together? Does this make sense at all? What will happen? I will immediately enjoy his lawyer for free, two of us. Because his own lawyer that is probably better than me. I'm probably new in that city. I don't even have a lawyer yet in that city. Or I have not tested the lawyer, whether it's really good. I would enjoy it because the lawyer will now do research about the land. No be so. And when you do research about the land, it covers my own too. Two of us. I will enjoy his negotiation skill. And the bigness of him, right, helps my ability to what? Negotiate better. Because mind you, when you are doing land business and you show up for negotiation yourself, you think it's an advantage. It's not. It's not. When you are doing real estate developers and you are meeting the family owners and all those, and then your lawyer shows up, this shows up, they see a whole entourage, company car, and even the owner, they can't see him. Now they know that they are dealing with a solid organization, and you are able to even have a better edge in those transactions. Are we learning here? But you know, if you go on your own, you are still new. I made those mistakes too when I started, because after getting the first estate through someone bigger than me, I felt now I know the business. Let me go and get my own too. The first one I attempted it on my own. You know, I made deposit. I lost it because they were to take possession. They said there's, you know, that, you know, they don't know the person we're even talking about. Okay? The third place, they said, you know, we paid again. This person was a chieftain of PDP in Lagos that time. So she was bragging with us, a woman. Said, look, I'm a chieftain. Come away with your money. How much is the money you people even want to? So she was bragging and bragging. So we paid initial deposit. The day we were to erect our signage, they came and said, we mentioned her name. Said, hey, we know her, but she's just an agent. We gave her the land to look for seller for us. So another one, I just lost money here and there. It was then I then appreciated the advantage of having to buy under someone, because all that money just wasted. It was better to buy it under someone, and even though I'm paying a bit more,